Welcome to Fitzanne's Property Exchange, hosted by Scheltema, designed to keep you informed and captivated about the South African residential property market. Subscribe to our channel today and enjoy conversations with some of the most influential, innovative, and interesting industry experts, stakeholders, and scheme executives as they render input in today's property market.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to Fitzanne's Property Exchange. Usually you are doing this with Paul Scheltema, the CEO. However, this time we thought it might be a really good idea to actually interview this absolutely phenomenal CEO. My name is Daphne, as mentioned, and I am the marketing manager. And I have the utmost privilege to chat to our CEO. She has been a phenomenal mentor to me in some forms of way. She's even been a sort of mother. She is truly someone that has a really good grip on life, on business, on property. She comes from the education background, and you can truly see her passion for people and business and educating everyone around her through that. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the utmost pleasure to introduce to you, for Women's Month, Paul Scheltema, the CEO of Fitzanne Estates. Welcome, Paul.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me. I really am privileged.
Inviting you to your own podcast. All right,
That's a new one.
yeah. All right, so let's start from the beginning. How did you get into the property scene?
This is actually not something I intended at all. I did what mommy and daddy wanted. I studied teaching, and once I was done, I was appointed as a teacher at a high school. And I hated every minute of it. Within the first 2 months, I realized this is not my calling. And I phoned my sister, the founder of Fitzanne Estates, Marianne Fitzgerald, and I said to her, I've done what they asked me to do. So, do you have a job for me? And her words were, you couldn't have come at a better time. And this is how I started almost 34 years ago. And I've never looked back. And I'm so happy I did make that change.
Wow, 34 years in property already. In
At the
this
same
last 3 decades.
company, I have to add.
Oh, wow, of course. 34 years at the same company. Now, during this last 3 decades, what are the things that you've actually seen change in the property market?
Oh gosh, I'll keep you busy all day. I think the most important or the most noticeable changes are obviously the legislation in property management. We have seen clients progress in their knowledge, in other words, actually keeping us on our toes. And the fact that property is part of our day to day living. Um, the fact that we need to stay somewhere forces people to become more knowledgeable about the topic and about where they stay. Rules apply, etc. So there's a whole lot of changes, but changes for the good.
I know one of the sayings that we always say at Fitzanne is that knowledge is power. And you coming from the education background and also have done a phenomenal and just absolutely amazing job at creating your own syllabus for an online training for our trustees. What do you think the value for that is to anyone that actually wants to join the property market, and then specifically women?
Absolutely immense. Well, we obviously live in a man's world, but what I've seen lately is that the ladies are coming to power, shining, being appointed as scheme executives. I had an interview earlier this morning with one of our chair ladies. They are anticipating to have an annual general meeting held on Saturday, and she made all the trouble of coming to see me to prepare herself for this event, which I found commendable. So, yes, ladies are really up there, and they are the doers, aren't they?
I would definitely agree, but let's just leave that at that for now. What do you think is the most rewarding, or for you personally, what is the most rewarding being in the property sector?
I would say that moment you see the light go on in someone's eyes. Not knowing anything of a specific topic, once you've explained it, once you've spent time to go through all the detail, giving examples, etc., and the light bulb goes on. They understand. It's like, what shall I call it? An achievement. And from there on, there's no stop. So I really find that rewarding. The fact that I can empower someone from knowing absolutely nothing about property or how to manage their scheme, and finally they get the grasp of it, and then they just run. It makes our task so much easier.
I must admit, like you always say, knowledge is power. And as you've also mentioned before, is if our trustees or our scheme executives know more about the Act and about what the rules are, it also forces us to be better, right?
Of course it does. Like I said, it keeps us on our toes. In some circumstances, there's clients that know more than us, and that's what I'm afraid of. But that's the nice thing of private property management, is that thing of growing together, learning things together. But you always have to be that one step ahead.
So, talking about growth, during the last 3 decades, I'm sure there's been quite a bit of challenges that you face, not necessarily only in the property market, but as a business person and as the CEO, what are some of the challenges you faced? And would you mind also telling us exactly you as a woman and as such a powerful woman, how did you overcome that?
Thank you for calling me powerful. I sometimes feel totally powerless, but okay. Challenges there are in business and in the property market. Challenges such as I have a corps of approximately 30 people working here, and finances is sometimes a challenge. Situation changes. Um, New business is sometimes not easy to get to. So, how do I come by? I go on my knees and I pray. And some people might find this strange, but yes, it helps. It gives me that insight, that world to go on. It gives me that encouragement just to face the next day. And if I look back, there has been much more good than bad. The key to this is indeed knowledge and indeed the will to go on. It really gives me the motivation to carry on.
Motivation is sometimes very difficult to come by, especially in these unprecedented times that we live in now. People have lost their jobs. People have been in very difficult and almost compromising situations. I know that Fitzanne has been in the utmost phenomenally blessed position not to be cutting salaries at this stage and not to be placing or letting go of people. For our specifically women that usually carry most of the emotional part in a relationship or in any business sector, what advice can you give them in this space for what they can use as motivation? Like maybe what do you use as motivation during this time?
Okay, that makes it a little easier. What I usually do is, after being totally frantic and not knowing what to do, I get quiet. I get quiet sometimes for hours, sometimes for days. And once I found that answer in my quietness, I sort of know what to do. But the answer to this is never give up. There's always another way. There's always a different method of handling things. And especially, you mentioned the challenging times we are in now. That really came through for me. Is I did things I never thought would be possible. Things like having meetings held online. Wow, that's a new thing. I thought I would never be able to do it. And at the end of the day, I found that it was so easy. Yes, we are extremely privileged and blessed to be able to keep our staff members, not to do salary cuts. But yeah, I had to work on their motivation. I had to work on their state of mind because it was a different thing working from home. There's a different kind of self discipline that had to be put in place. But we've overcome this. And once again, things we thought we could never do, we did. Ladies of Fitzanne pulled through.
I was just going to comment on that. If I see some of the messages that come through on the groups, the ladies have definitely pulled through immensely. They have stood by each other, they have encouraged each other immensely. So, by women doing that and empowering and strengthening each other, do you find in the business world that there is still a little bit of discrimination against women, specifically maybe in property?
I might have thought so before. Initially, when I started up, I thought I was not recognized. It was a matter of, but can I please speak to your boss? I need to explain to him how the geyser works. And then the utmost surprise on the other side when I say, but I am the boss, you need to speak to me. And I find out that I actually know about geysers. So initially, yes, that was the perception. But nowadays, I think men know that they need to reckon with women. Women power is indeed best. So, no, I can't say at this point in time that I experienced that. But way back then, the beginning years, most certainly I did.
All right, would I be accurate in saying that some of the mistakes that most businesswomen, even in property, make when they step into the property market is to think that they must play the game like boys? Like when they try and be like the guys. What I found, and I actually really would like your input on that, is if we as women, we do have an X factor, we do have something that's different. If we play the game, or if we step into the business world and in property being the person that we were created to be, it already puts us in a completely different league, and therefore people respect and sometimes even admire us for not conforming to the
I
old boys club in
totally,
the way that they do things.
I totally agree. I don't want to do business like a boy or a man. I want to do business like me, something that suits my personality. I want to be calm. I want to be collective. I want to have the knowledge, and I have to accomplish this by myself. So the fact that women approach things differently definitely puts them in an advantage position. But no, I don't want to do it like other people do it. I want to do it like Pearl does it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. And if each and every woman can identify that strength in themselves and grow through the challenges that they have, I think we're building a force of unstoppable women in property, right?
Yes, we are. No doubt about that.
So now let's try and look at the future of what business can look like. What do you think, or where do you see Fitzanne and yourself in property in the next 5 years?
Well, first of all, I hope I'm still here. No, what I do see is empowering more people, getting scheme executives to train, to know exactly how to manage these schemes. That will make our task so much easier. I see women entering into this market where, especially being an estate agent, where they can plan appointments according to their needs and their requirements. Drop off the kids at the school, attend to a meeting later the afternoon, or drop them off at the school and go back home for an urgent meeting. It can be arranged so easy. So for the future, I definitely see women stepping up into this. Yes, I suppose we'll always need the guys, but yeah, women is taking the lead in this, specifically the property industry.
For any woman that is stepping into the business world, like just after college or just after school or just wanting a change in their career, why would you encourage them to step into property?
I would say, first of all, if they have a specific plan, they stick to the plan. This could foresee their future. They have to be dedicated. They have to work hard. Nothing comes easy. So they have to empower themselves. They have to go to other women that knows the industry to pick up tips, to know what is expected, to know how to address things. I think they should just find that passion in what they like to do, and they obviously will become successful.
Yeah, that I do, but that immediately links back to motivation and what people find as motivation and maybe some inner strength. Because if you can link your passion to what you do and even make money off of that, I mean, then every day is an exciting day. Every day you find something new to do, and basically it's not like a diet where you scream and shout and yell for this food because this is something that you want to do. It's something that you are passionate about.
That's true. Passion, I think, is the key in this.
All right, that actually fits in really well, and I truly do want to encourage all other women that are listening, and even if you have daughters, to try and maybe, for example, do the Fitzanne property training, the online course, just to find out what is there. Is this something that they like, or go find out, do some online seminars, go attend things, spend a day with a sales agent. What does that entail? What is the rewards? Do you think
That's a
that would be
great
something that you
idea.
also would that be something that you might think about? Maybe a day with Pearl as CEO of Fitzanne?
Oh my gosh, never thought of that, but I'd love to do it if I have the time available. But yes, that could be exciting.
I think a day in the life of the most amazing woman in property that I know and the CEO of Fitzanne would be life changing to really anyone that actually wants to step in there, that wants to learn from the best and wants to be mentored by the best in the industry. So, talking about mentoring, Uh, who do you find as mentor, or who do you personally go to for advice or for tips or for anything that you find your personal growth at?
I have to start off by saying my sister, Marianne Fitzgerald, was indeed my mentor. I don't think a day goes by that I don't think to myself, how would she handle a situation like this? But unfortunately, with her passing, I had to learn to find other sources. And I have to say, I don't have a specific mentor. Every woman I meet, every woman with courage, every woman with pride, every woman wanting to learn and to know more has become my mentor. I see this in them. Um, I see what can be developed, and I learn from that. That gives me courage to carry on. So I don't have a specific mentor. I think women in general, women wanting to do with what they find passion in, is mentoring me.
That is really cool. And that being said, you are also the leader of a 100% all woman team, right?
Yes, I am. That is the best of all.
That is awesome. So during this Woman Month, you really have the insights of not just giving advice and being a mentor and being at the frontier of women in property, but also you have a whole team of women following you, learning from you, and
In- that
taking
is what we
advice from you.
that is what I call inspired Fitzanne woman power.
All right, Paul, the last thing that I have to ask is there maybe another book in your future?
Yes, there is. I'm working on it at the moment, but please don't push me for a time limit. I have to fit this into my schedule, and there's not a lot of time available for this. But yes, I'm definitely thinking about it. I've definitely starting to write things down as I come across situations. gives me more ideas of what people should know and how to implement it. So, to answer your question, definitely it's coming.
Would this be only relating to property, or would we be able to learn a bit more about this powerful, amazing woman as CEO as well?
I would prefer it to be about property and property management. Let's stick to that. That's what I know.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Fitzanne's Property Exchange. This time not hosted by Paul Scheltema, but by Daphne. And thank you so much, really, to all the ladies that are listening out there. Take a chance on property, find your mentor, and who knows, you might be able to have a full on day spent with this amazing CEO of Fitzanne leading the frontier of property with an all woman team.
Daphne, thank you so much for making it so easy. It was a bit strange sitting on the other side. I really enjoyed this and I really am privileged. Thank you so much and God bless.
This was Fitzanne's Property Exchange, hosted by Pearl Scheltema. Not only do we keep you informed on the very latest in the property industry, we also empower by expanding your knowledge base. Make sure to visit www.fitzanne.co.za to find out more about sectional title scheme management, letting, sales and trustee training. Remember to subscribe to our channel and follow us on all our social platforms.